You're listening to Puff Digital's Into the Weeds podcast, brought to you in part by Puff Puff Posts and HigherMentality.com.
The new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
Let's not. I don't want to just roll over bad boy Luke in high school.
Okay.
I just wanted to find out what was going on there. So let's talk about bad boy Luke in high school.
A lot of fireworks, a lot of homemade fireworks, like a lot of meet up with Kyle, my longtime musical and life partner.
Yeah.
Go get all the money we had together, $15 or whatever that week. Go to the variety store, buy as much lighter fluid and sparklers as we possibly could get with that money. Usually just buy them out of it. And then go back to Kyle's house, get one of his old action figures of some kind, and just pack this, like start shaving off the shit from a sparkler. Don't do this shit, kids. By the way, please don't. Disclaimer, I'm not liable. But shave off the shit with a knife, and then just pack it all into something and go deep into the forest. And
what was the best thing you blew
shit
up? Like, did you like, take action figures? Did you blow some shit up?
Just old kind of stuff that Kyle definitely wishes he still had. Probably. But it's like nice action figures.
We have fun
from the
with
late
firecrackers
90s.
around here all the time.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. And then I think there was one point where like Kyle and I were spending a lot of time doing this, kind of dicking around, playing music together a bit. And then like we were kind of, there was a big jump in like grade 8 where everybody seemed to be playing guitar, and then like by like grade 9, like everybody stopped, and there was like a few of us left, kind of looking around, like, oh shit, like let's team up. And Kyle and I were one of them, and basically we were starting to dick around with music, but we were mostly concerned and very focused on our firework career and lighting shit on fire. It got a little heavier than that. Like we never committed like arson or anything like that, but like we were bad kids for a while, and then
you just like to blow shit up.
I got
That's a Canadian bad kid, Efrem.
We never committed arson or anything.
Like-
Yeah, but I mean, there's guns and stuff where you were going.
Oh yeah, true, yeah. It's a little skewed.
But that's fucking awesome.
And then one day I got a really bad burn on my hand.
Oh, no.
And just on the top of it, like it was just a flesh wound, but I
Only
saw
a flesh
that,
wound.
and then a few days later, I accidentally like blew off. I accidentally blew off like a firework that I'd opened up and taken all the powder out of and dumped into a can, and I somehow didn't quite get away from it in time enough, and it just went off, and I just kind of woke up in the snow, like in my, like I was just like Saving Private Ryan first scene, and like Tom Hanks on the beach, and I was just like, Kyle, we're done with the fireworks, let's play rock and roll.
That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
All right, we're done with the fireworks, Kyle. Now we're into rock and roll. And then, like, follow me back up to the garage. Let's go build a guitar.
Yeah.
Essentially?
Well, Kyle had drums and I had a guitar and shit, but like we had never really either of us hadn't been in like a band that like rehearsed consistently. I'd kind of one or two, but we hadn't been in a band where like I played bass in a band that like I was just the bass player and I just kind of plunked along, and I was just like, you know what? I want to fucking write my own songs. Mm-hmm. I had no idea how to do that or anything, but I was just like, I just need somebody to do with. And Kyle was just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we just like, basically when we were like 16, summer we both turned 16, like we just started practicing every day in my parents' basement. And just kind of jamming on like Black Sabbath riffs, but also like trying to make our own stuff and just kind of basically trying to learn our instruments together. But I had got myself a big muff pedal that summer, and the giant fuzz like overdrive maximum volume setting. I was just obsessed with trying to write things around this. The feeling that I got from stepping on this thing that made everything so much louder and thicker and crazier, that is like I don't know, one of the coolest experiences I think I ever had. Like I sometimes still think back to that, of like what that summer was like how fun it was to have my 100-watt Marshall that I had no business owning at such a kind of remedial grade of guitar playing, but this giant amp and hitting this fucking big fuzz pedal and it just exploding with sound, and like it was orgasmic. It was like the coolest thing. So we just kept.
And that was
Looking at
and how old were you at that?
16, and we just started. We I think we had a different name
So
before, and then
so at 15 you stopped with the firecrackers. At 16 you started the rock and
around
roll.
15, early 16. Yeah, just about
Yeah.
to turn. Yeah, around 15 we stopped with that shit. Yeah, and then we were called. I can't exactly remember. We dicked around with names for a while, and then we called ourselves the Dirty Nil that year.
Really? And what was the
2006.
what's the Dirty Nil?
We would obsess about these two. Like we were the first YouTube generation, and that's how I really absorbed rock and roll and voraciously kind of consumed it. Like was just YouTube. I was like, holy shit, I can watch all these videos of all these old bands that don't exist anymore. Like before you'd have to buy that $50 DVD that sucked anyways, but now it's just like. So I got to watch all this shit, and like I watched this one band called the Dirty Mac. And they played at the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus. It was a super group of Eric Clapton on lead guitar, Keith Richards on bass, Jimi Hendrix's drummer Mitch Mitchell on drums, and the frontman, singer, rhythm guitar player is John Lennon. And they play one. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So they play one song. They play a Beatles song, "Your Blues," but they play it with those guys. And like we would watch this video so goddamn much because it was just so awesome. Like the raw, just John Lennon, like howling, yelling, like broken up voice craziness, and like just guys shredding. But we took that name, and then I heard of this band called the Nils from Montreal, and I didn't know much about them. But I was just like, I like that word. And then we just combined them. And I remember like, it's like, let's do this. And then Kyle was just like, yeah, I talked to my mom, but like my mom didn't really like that name. I was like, that's the name, man. Let's fucking do it.
yeah. That's awesome.
That's
I love that your rock and roll barometer has always been bounced off your parents.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't like that? I'm going
That's
right
it.
towards
Let's
it.
do it.
Yeah. Because you really do embrace rock and roll in a lot of like
I love it.
because you got the bubble gum, you're blowing the bubble gums, you got the star shirts that you actually like put a lot of thought into now, which kind of started as like, hey, maybe I'll toy with this. Now it's like you love
thing,
it,
man.
you like peacocking is what
I'm 7% roughly better at electric guitar with a star shirt on.
roughly 7%.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And so that's you just loved rock and roll.
I love rock and roll. I mean, like as I said, I think part of the way that I absorbed it was in such a mythological way that it's left a lot of those more striking images and things have certainly ingrained a far richer image into my mind and what I want to do with it. But really, sometimes I'm able to distill a lot of my impulses and instincts and dreams to my literal 12-year-old dreams. Like the first day I got a guitar, a lot of the things that I would think about, like those are still the things that I want and have done. Like I remember being like 12 or 13 years old, be like, I want a yellow old Les Paul custom, and like I got one, and that's the the last guitar I bought. It's my favorite guitar in the world, and I decided it when I was 13. Like a lot of that shit I just haven't outgrown. My tastes have kind of, they've gone all over the map, but some things have just like.
Are you still sparking up your guitars?
I have been. I did for a while. Like I'm threatening to bring it back. It's.
So what Luke did, and what I just sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Is rigged his guitars up, so during a solo it would start sparking and smoking.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but did you know how to do that because of all your experience with
did
firecrackers?
not. That was a custom job. I can't accept credit for that one. It's a slightly sophisticated electrical device, but it is still using like little fireworks inside. Yeah. It's.
But it had to come from your love of blowing shit up.
It did, and like Ace Frehley did it, and I was
Yes,
just like, again, what can we do to piss off the punks?
Yeah.
Pull some Ace Frehley shit. Smoke up the club with like toxic plastic smoke. It was a good time. It was a great time. Yeah. I feel a little bit bad about like we did that in some pretty small rooms sometimes. Like pretty small and pretty packed rooms, and like looking back, I'm like, it happened. I don't know.
That's great.
That evil fucking happy grin.
I was just gonna say,
Such satisfaction.
so happy.
That was good times, man. That was good times for sure.
Holy fuck. So, did you guys party a lot in high school? Like party on drugs and drinking and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, not really. I mean, I remember Kyle and I spent New Year's Eve of, I think, grade 11 or grade 12, like, just practicing.
Has it always been you and that dude? Is he basically a
Yeah.
sibling? Another like
Yeah. Me and Kyle have known each other since we were 5 years old.
Wow. And do your parents know each other?
Yeah, through us, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he thus far the love of your life and in sincerely way?
In a platonic way.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, is he? That's cool.
He's my boy.
And do you guys ever pick her or anything like that?
Oh, fuck yeah, all the time. But I mean, like, I don't know. We have, like, the older we get, the better of a relationship we have with each other. Like, the more we have so much fucking history under our belts, you know. Like, I've known him since we were enemies in the gym of Central Park. What is it? Primary school? Yeah, primary school. We were both part of the after school daycare, or like kind of whatever program, the daycare program, waiting for your parents to pick you up or whatever. And we did not get along. We were mortal enemies.
Mortal enemies.
Whoa.
We were mortal enemies, indeed.
What
But
was
we teamed
like
up.
what
We teamed up.
what-
We just
Like what would be give me an example?
hooking
Like-
basketballs at each other's heads, and
Really?
once in
What?
a while it would escalate. It was a lot of Cold War tactics. But sometimes open hostilities would break out, dude. Like, yeah.
Like just like vibing on the guy on the other side of the playground
Just
kind of thing?
fucking, like, calls a dick. Like,
Really?
yeah.
That's cool. And then you teamed up. When did you guys
Teamed
team
up.
up?
Yeah, how did you form the alliance?
I don't really know exactly how it happened. I think we just kind of started hanging out and talking, and like Kyle would start telling, like, we started talking about movies that we liked. Even we were probably 10 years old, really, when we really actually became close. And yeah, he would just like. I remember one time Kyle and I were walking around the gym, and neither of us had seen the other movie, but we wanted to know what it was like, but it was rated R, so we couldn't watch it. So he described all of the Gladiator, like Russell Crowe movie to me. He did the movie for me, and then I did The Patriot for him.
What?